the field is packed. But that didn't stop former Vice President Mike Pence from putting his hat in the ring to vie for a shot at becoming the next president of the United States. Former head of the Illinois Republican Party, Pat Brady, is here to talk about the growing list of contenders on the right. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
A lot to talk about here. Let's start with Mike Pence.
Yep.
Okay, so he's been fairly quiet, minus his book, since January 6th, really, of 2021. He finally comes out swinging against his former boss. What are your thoughts about the announcement?
It was expected. He was in town a couple months ago and did a nice job promoting his book and talked about January 6th, which was the biggest applause line he got when he stood there and didn't do what former President Trump wanted him to do. You know, we all know Mike Pence here. Mike Pence is a very decent human being, but he's kind of in a trick bag because the Trumpies hate him because of January 6th, and the people that aren't necessarily Trumpies don't like him because they think he's too Trumpy. So he's in kind of a tough spot, but he was a great governor. He's a very decent human being. He's a conservative. So I think he's just going to, you know, keep it under the radar, like you said, and see what happens.
Yeah, so it's not just him, okay? Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
There's 9 now.
He's polling second to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You have Doug Burgum and Chris Christie. What would be the point for these other folks to get in now when you have 2 that are so far ahead of the rest?
Well, it's way early, and so history tells you that who's ever leading right now may not necessarily win. A lot of these are name ID polls, but President Trump is certainly the prohibitive favorite right now.
Yeah.
We have to wait and see what happens. The last time there were 17 people in the race, which essentially allowed Donald Trump to win, but the more important point is how long they stay in. Last time everybody stayed in for a while, and that allowed Trump to kind of, you know, clear the deck. If people get out earlier, it might make the contest in January and February a little more interesting. Remember, these are state-by-state races, too, so the national polls don't really matter.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, do you think this will all help Trump in the end?
Oh, yeah. The more people in the race, the better it is for Trump, because there's the 35% that are going to vote for Trump no matter what he does, and then there's the 55% of Republicans that are looking for something else, and the 10% that'll never vote for Trump. So, yeah, it helps. The more he divides up the vote or dilutes the vote, the more it helps him.
So, speaking of former President Donald Trump, you are a former federal prosecutor. Do you think that the other politicians are maybe hoping one of these cases Donald Trump is currently facing or could possibly face will go the distance and keep him from running?
I don't think it'll keep him from running. And he's looking, the news late last night was they're going to indict him on the documents case shortly. He got a target record, so it's likely he's going to be indicted. But a couple things. It helps him when he gets indicted with the base. It fires him up. They think that this is a witch hunt. But I got to tell Republicans, every morning Joe Biden wakes up and prays that Donald Trump's the nominee, because that's probably the only one of the, we have a lot of good contenders that Joe Biden can beat. And it also hurts his down ticket. So, listen, if you like Trump, great. Or like the policies, great. But the reality is he's probably the worst candidate for Republicans to put at the top of the ticket if we ever want to kind of regain majorities. And we have a good chance in the Senate. Things are kind of breaking our way. But we won't do it if Donald Trump's our nominee.
So are you hearing about anybody else possibly getting in the running? Or do you think that there is another person that really is maybe the choice?
I have Mike Kaplan's talking about getting in. I mean, everybody's getting in, right?
And he would be our choice for sure.
Oh, absolutely, the weather guy.
Mike Kaplan for president, always. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it, and we'll be right back.